Howdy, folks. Long time no see. So, we are in the basement. Got my nice little workstation set up over there. Got some organite supplies, which I will be doing soon, and I will bring you in on some creations. And then, got some plant stuff. You know, got some things in the works. But right now, we're going to be installing a utility basin tub sink, shop sink. They have a lot of names. I found this one on Facebook Marketplace. 50 bucks, 60 bucks, I don't know. They're like two something new, which is a little overpriced, but this one's nice because it's got a little removable faucet thing, which is ideal. And like they get dirty, so who gives a fuck? And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be tapping into the washing machine exit tube thing right here. Because, yeah, I need a drain for the sink. I was playing with different ideas, and this is the best idea. So hopefully, if you have a basement, you can tap into your washer exit. So first step is I put in splitters on the hot and cold for the washer, right there. And then there was fucking old washer lines that the previous tenant left here, so I'm using those to connect to the sink. And yeah, so first step was getting the right height, because this is code. This meets code. You can share a P-trap, which is that little P thing, which water sits in there to keep sewer gas from back upping through your sink drain or whatever. And first step was to get the right height. So basically the top of this needs to be it needs to be higher than the sink, than the top of the sink, just so if it happened to overflow, the head pressure would be enough to push it down through. So this is what I'm going for. So I had to raise it up 3 blocks high. I honestly think I'll probably need 2 more blocks, one on each side, to get the optimal height. But the key here is to also have a flexi joint to the sink, so that, because you're not going to get square on perfect, you don't want to put that pressure on yourself. So a little flexibleness is key in scenarios. And the previous owner did not secure the legs, which seems lazy, but so that is my step. Step 1 is to attach said legs. And I didn't have hardware either, so I'm just using some self-tappers, which they're going to poke out, so I'm going to try not to poke myself and put it the correct way. So let's see, how do you want to view this? Right here? There you go, that seems good. The reason I'm installing the sink is because it just opens up projects, because the worst thing is when you're like down here dirty, or you need to like wash something, just projects require a sink. Plus, on the weed farm I had one of these sinks, loved it, and then at the ayahuasca farm I had one of these sinks, loved it. Just a deep sink, nothing like a deep sink. Legs are on. Next step is setting it in place. Actually, no. The next step is to cut. I need to cut that pipe. So I splurged and bought the relatively expensive Cobalt 2-inch pipe cutter. These are awesome. Ooh, I've never used a nice one like this. I've only used like the shitty Harbor Freight one. That one's only $8. This one was $25. So yes, look at that. So what I need to do is I need to measure my fitting because I want the least amount of pipe to maximize the height and to keep the drain low. This was sort of, all projects are more expensive than you think. But like the sink was $60 and I think with the tool, yeah, it was like over $60 for all the other shit. But I mean, if you paid someone to do this, it would be like $1,000. Probably not, but it would be 800. So this is the T fitting that I want right there. How do I want that? Do I want it like that? I'm trying to think. Yeah, see how this like ramps up? I don't want that. It's going to cause water to dry. I want it to ramp down. Even though it's a little higher, that's what I want. So. Also, you have to be less than 30 inches away from the P-trap in order to use this double P-trap setup. Not sure why, probably some physics, but that's what it says. So basically, I just want to see how long that is. This is a poor man's way to measure. That looks more than 3/4, for sure. No, it's that. So I'm just gonna go 1 inch for ease of shit, I think. You don't want to go too short because then you won't have enough meat to bond to. I mean, I could take this off, but fuck that. Now, handy dandy cutter. We'll cut this pipe. Oh, that is so nice. That is so nice. This is nice. This is fucking amazing. Can you see this? Are you witnessing this amazingness? Maybe you want a down low view. Let's get you down low. I also got a new tripod that is amazing. See that? I added fucking legitimacy to this. I'm assuming this is going to be straight. I don't know. The only thing I don't want is cracking. It's on. Old PVC can crack. I don't know how old this is, so this is just go nice and slow, not force it. I see why that this thing only does 2 inches. This is kind of difficult. Oh. Ah. Whew. All right. That is the straightest cut I've ever crudded. And that's right at the water line? Wow, somehow I cut it right at the water line. Look at that. That is sweet. That's another reason why you want to go away from there. There's sitting water in there. Look at that. Awesome. Beautiful cut. So, now what's going to happen is this T is going to go there, and then this other end is going to go back. I'll maybe flip it upside down, just because that cut is so pretty. So boom. There it is. See how it angles up now? Okay, how do I do this to make sure it's facing the right way? Do I just throw a line? Alright, now I want to make sure it's clean. Then you get your Odie handy pack. They sell glue that's, you don't need a primer, but this one is good for PVC, ABS, and CPVC. Which, I don't know. Then you can use it for other projects. The other one is only good for PVC. So I'm going to do a swipe of primer on both sides. This is a beautiful purple color. Purple color. I'll put that in the can because this is. I'm going to take the top fitting off because I don't want to have to be wrenching on this too badly. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Wonderful. Stuff has a nice chemically aroma in a good way. You can tell you're getting high. Then we add the cement. I think maybe you're supposed to do like primer on one and cement on the other. I don't actually know. My PVC knowledge is very limited. This doesn't feel right because I'm going to jam the thing back in with primer. But anyway, I want to make sure these are lined up. And ideally, you twist this in when installing. Yeah, that's lined up. Okay. Okay, so we go primer. Primer at the other end. I have made the mistake of primering the wrong end before, so it's a common mistake. Like, if you're doing an outside fitting, you primer the inside of the pipe. You're like, whoops, I'm down. And when you get both these open, you're like, whoo, there's some fumes, man. I don't know, twisting, I always just heard twisting is good. Nice. Like, moves the glue around. I don't think it's necessary, but all right. So that is in. We are awesome. This is a your standard sink drain, and then this is a adapter to adapt it to standard PVC. Because 1.5" PVC is not the same as 1.5" kitchen thing. All right, there we go. Make sure I clean the other side. So that's ready for the pipe. I just have some washers in here. So this goes here. That is that washer. Yes, that's beautiful. Well, it doesn't get a ton of threads. I'm going to have to crank that down. And this one gets this orange washer, I think. I'm not positive on this. Maybe this one should get that washer. This looks like it has a spot for a washer, though. I don't know why it didn't have one. Definitely has like a channel groove. And this washer is not quite wide enough. Come on, you got this. There you go. There you go, right? Maybe it'll just, when I'm threading it in, it'll seat itself. I think this is designed not to have a washer, to be honest. Alright, no washer. I want it all the way in there. Nice, I got one of my hairs in there, that's good. Oh yeah, because nothing will ever go back there, theoretically. Unless water's sitting in the line. Did that just spin? No. I don't really know what the weight is on the dry time. But alright, that's pretty tight. So, next step is getting the sink back in place to measure the distance for the pipe, I think. Always put your caps back on. That's cross-threaded. Also cross-threaded. Okay, so now we measure. This is gonna be weird. say anything. Mm. 16-inch-a-bronies. Alright, now we slice and dice this guy. Is it bugging you that you're crooked? It does not look like a straight cut. The blade looks like it's curved. Oh yeah, that is not a straight cut, man. You lied to me, thing. And I'll never use this tool again. Just kidding. Chances are, it's actually a very versatile tool. It's good for cutting tubing and yeah, anything round. The bad thing if this goes wrong is I decommission my washer. Not ideal. Yeah, this is one of those where I had to think, like, oh, which side do I goober? Ideally, I want a slight rundown. Just fucking slight. Which it is right now. Yeah, and when you're doing home repairs with PVC, I talked to a contractor at Home Depot. He was like, you should use the primer because then when an inspector comes in, he can see the purple primer and know that you used it. Like all these other ones, I feel like they didn't even use primer.